back with another banger build video real quick. Before we jump into the build today, make sure y'all hit that like button for me if y'all enjoying the content. Drop a comment with y'all thoughts. If y'all are not already, make sure y'all subscribe to the channel. We chasing 1K subscribers. We gonna get there. Take a little time, but we gonna get there. And if y'all is already subscribed, and make sure y'all hit that bell, turn those post notifications on, so that way y'all get notified when I'm dropping new content. But with that, let's jump straight into the build today. So I made a pure lockdown. This was like an OG build, and what I know about the game now is some things that I point out that y'all could change on it to make this a monster on defense. But real quick, I made the build 6'8" because if I'm gonna be a lockdown, I might as well be taller and quick enough to keep up with guards. So I made the build 6'8" for that reason, and then I gave it a 7'2" wingspan because as y'all see, I can get block on this build. So real quick, regarding the weight, I made this 186 pounds mainly because I value speed over strength. So with that being said, I could keep up with any guard the same way as if I was a guard myself. It ain't that hard to really keep up with one when you got that 89 plus the badges help you move around screens, which I'll point all that out. But going straight into the build real quick, I want to tell y'all some things y'all could tweak about the build to make it even better. So if I was to go back and redo this build, I had started it with a 60 drive and dunk. Y'all boys can take this up to 73. It give you some crazy cap breakers for the drive and dunk if you put it at 73. But when I had made this build, I put it at a 60. It would have had gave me, I want to say 13. It would have gave me a plus 13 for a 73 drive and dunk if I was to put 5 cap breakers here. For whatever reason, at the time, I ended up cap breaking the stand and dunk. So with that, I had ended up making this a 81 stand and dunk on the actual build, and I left this at the 60. If I could go back and redo it, I would have switched and put the 5 cap breakers on the drive and dunk, and then I would have updated the stand in over time. Don't get me wrong though, for y'all, if y'all do prefer to stand and dunk, if you put 5 cap breakers there, you can get it to a 81, and that do give you some crazy under the rim dunks. So especially if you got a littler matchup, you yamming on them with that 81 standing. Nah, going straight into the finishing. Or before I even move on to the finishing real quick, I just want to point out the badges too. You definitely, that rise up badge, it help you in terms of getting those standard dunks off before the defenders get to you. So just pointing out that's a good badge. But the standing dunk and the drive and dunk, depending on the animations you want to equip, they do go together, but you gotta have the stand or not stand in my bad, y'all boys. I can't talk right now. But y'all gotta have that drive and dunk. So y'all want to make sure if y'all was to go and make this build, put those cap breakers on the drive and dunk, the stand and dunk. If I could go back and redo it, I would have just left it at 45. Now going into the shooting side of things, I put this at an 85. And the main reason I put the midi at an 85 is just to make up for the difference and the 3-pointer being lower on the build. Really, the only thing I needed was the badges here. And as a heads up, I did put a cap breaker here on the actual build. So that way it got an 86 midi with an 80 tray ball. That do give me some good badges, as y'all see on my screen here. The 86 is cool. That was specifically, I want to say it was for the Kobe Bryant dribble pull up that I had did that, or that may have been 84. But just wanted to point that out. I was really looking for the animation, which is why I went with the 86 in the long term. The 80 tray ball, this cool. I ain't gonna hold you. For me to be a catch and shoot as a lockdown, I can shoot with a 80 tray ball. I got the badges for it. Y'all boys could even, if y'all wanted to go back and tweak anything on the build, you could even make this a 83. If you wanted to take some of the defense down, you could always make this a 83 to get limitless range. But I usually catch and shoot with this build, so I don't necessarily need the limitless range. But what I did with the build, I made the shooting, I made it an 86 midi, and then I left the 3-pointer at an 80. 76 free throw, that's cool. I could shoot off that. Now, remember, y'all boys, for the playmaking, I am a lockdown. So a 55 pass, if you passing the ball smart, it's not that bad. You just got to be real smart. Keyword. You got to be smart in how you're passing the ball. So with that being said, I left that at a 55. I didn't cap breaker it. Once again, I'm at a lockdown, so I'm not looking really to dribble or ISO somebody up. I just put the speed with ball up to where if I get the ball, I can at least move a little bit better with it. So just FYI on why I did that. But I ain't really focused too much on the playmaking because I specifically went with the higher defense for this lockdown. So going with the 84 interior, I just want to point out this gives you some mean badges in terms of like the interior defense. As y'all see, I get off ball pests. I get Paint Patroller at the moment, and on top of that, I get Post Lockdown. Now, just a heads up, y'all boys, I did cap breaker all of the defense on this build, specifically minus the interior defense. So for the perimeter defense, I have builds with a 99 perimeter, a 96 perimeter, 92 perimeter. The 96 is cool on this build. I ended up putting 4 cap breakers on this, and I did make the perimeter defense a 96. That pretty much gave me all of the badges on Hall of Fame minus Pick Dodger. For that one, though, you could always max 1, max 2 the badge to get a Hall of Fame or Legend status. A movable enforcer, that's a tier 2 badge on this build, so I ended up making that +2, so I got it gold. Now for the steel, y'all boys know I don't never make a build without any steel on it. But I did put 5 cap breakers here too, so I could get the 96 steel. Main reason for the 96, once again, this is a pure lock for real. So the 96 steel with the 5 cap breakers would give me glove and interceptor on Hall of Fame. If y'all didn't even want to put the 5 there, y'all could leave the steel on the 91. You still get both of those gold, and you can max 1, max 2 those badges depending on how you want to do it. Now for the block. Real quick, I do want to point out for the block, I put it at 91 because I already knew if I put 2 cap breakers here, that'll give me that 93 block. So just a heads up, if you do the 93 block, I took the interior to a 84, but I also cap breakered the block to 93. That'll give me the gold Paint Patroller on top of High Flying Denier. So those 2 badges, just wanted to point out, you definitely that 93 block with the vert and the interior defense, they all go together. Just wanted to mention that. I had throwaway points for this build, so I just kind of threw those into the rebounding. Don't get me wrong, the 66 isn't bad for the defensive rebounding. There's games in the park really sometimes in the rec where I could get those loose rebounds where the bigs can't really get to it. So the 60 is good, but you could always move the extra 6 points to another category depending on what it opened up for the build for you. Now going into the physicals. For the physicals, I put the speed at an 87, and I did cap breaker this one time on the actual build itself. So I do want to point out you could end up having a 88 speed with this if you chose to add a cap breaker. The 89 agility, I did this since I got the higher perimeter defense. This helped me with fighting through the screens and keeping up with the guards. So as y'all see, I get on ball menace, Pick Dodger, both of those are on gold, and you can max 1 or max 2 these badges too, for real. Now for the strength, I put this at 71 for the sole purpose of a movable enforcer. So if you do max 1 or max 2 this badge, the immovable enforcer definitely help out along with the on ball menace and other defensive badges. I always found that either gold, or I would have to say Hall of Fame is a good sweet spot for the immovable. If you could get legend, that's perfect. But with me only having a 71 strength on this build, I did just make sure that I can at least max to it to gold, and I want to say it is a tier 2 badge. Now for the vertical, I just want to point out real quick, y'all boys, this ties into the block. Just mention, as y'all see, I get the high flying denier. Also, the reason I put it at an 83 is mainly because I can get pogo stick, as y'all boys see. I get that on Hall of Fame with the 83. So just some things to note with the build. But if y'all did want to make changes to it, y'all can. But this one, though, I just wanted to focus solely on defense. So let's see what build we came out with real quick. Gerald Wallace, Andre Karolinko, and Sar Thompson, which them ain't really bad comparisons. Nah, real quick, I do want to show y'all the actual build after I did everything to it. So let me go back to my builds real quick. So let me show y'all what the 6.8 look like after you put the cap breakers and all that on it. So if I was to pull this build up, after I did put the cap breakers on it, changed the name to two-way drive and rise bully, which I did mess with that. I messed with that description. But if y'all want to see the actual build, this is it right here. As y'all see, these was the cap breakers. This was when I was a little bit newer to the game, still kind of learning it. But as y'all see, if I could go back and tweak anything, I would move the cap breakers I put on the stand and dunk and put those up on the drive and dunk. And then just to show y'all the cap breaker menu, y'all boys can see this is what those cap breakers look like for you. So just a heads up, make sure if y'all do go to drive and dunk way, at least put it to 73 for the drive and dunk. It'll show you more love on the cap breakers if you do a 73. But just showing y'all this is what y'all could kind of play around with if y'all wanted to add those cap breakers a different way. Let me know what y'all think in the comments, man. I appreciate y'all for even taking the time to check this build video out. But let me know what y'all boys thinking. Let me know if y'all could come up with something better. Let me know if y'all think this cool. But I ain't even gonna hold y'all up. I have a ball when I play with this build. 80 tray ball, perfect for me to shoot. I don't need the cap breaker that, and I already got the badges I need. But with that, I hope y'all boys have a good day, man. Appreciate y'all for tuning in.